Imagine waking up to the news that the single biggest moment you've been waiting for years has just been announced live on national television. That exact scenario is what unfolded for the entire global community of Iraqi dinar investors just hours ago, when Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani stepped up to the podium and delivered a speech so direct, so packed with intentional declarations about the future of Iraq's currency, that it has sent shockwaves through every forum, every Telegram group, and every private chat dedicated to this investment. This wasn't just another political address filled with empty promises and vague timelines. This was a structured, confident roadmap coming directly from the highest office in the nation. And for the first time, the phrase monetary reform was not just a buzzword thrown to placate the public, but was presented as an immediate, actionable national project with a clear and undeniable connection to a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. The air in the room was electric as Sudani meticulously laid out his government's achievements. Everyone was waiting for that one segment, the part about the Central Bank of Iraq's new monetary policy. And when he finally reached it, he did not hold back. He spoke with an authority we have rarely heard, stating unequivocally that the era of a weak, inflated currency is over, and that the new Iraq, a nation poised for massive economic growth and regional integration, requires a strong, stable, and internationally respected dinar to take its rightful place on the global stage. He directly addressed the issues that have plagued the dinar for decades: the volatility, the reliance on the US dollar for internal transactions, and the hindrance it has caused to foreign investment. And he declared that the comprehensive strategic plan developed in coordination with the central bank is now in its final stages of execution. The most shocking part of his entire speech, the moment that made veteran investors rewind and listen again, was when he explicitly connected this monetary overhaul to the specific date being circulated by insiders for the revaluation. While he didn't shout a date from the rooftops, his wording was so precise, so deliberately tied to the upcoming conclusion of their financial year and the implementation of the new banking reforms, that it serves as the most powerful confirmation we have ever received. He stated that the foundational pillars for the new exchange rate regime will be solidified before the end of the current quarter, creating a direct and unbreakable link to the late-year timeline that sources close to the central bank have been whispering about for months. This is no longer speculation. This is the Prime Minister of Iraq aligning the government's entire agenda with the culmination of this monetary project. He talked about the new digital payment systems, the crackdown on currency smuggling, and the successful negotiations with international partners, including the United States Treasury and the International Monetary Fund, all of which have given their tacit, and in some cases explicit, blessings to this historic move. The message was clear. Every single obstacle that we have discussed and analyzed over the years, from the Chapter V sanctions to the electronic platforms and the international banking compliance issues, has been systematically identified, addressed, and is now being removed from the path. The gate is being unlocked, and Sudani himself is now holding the key, standing before the world and announcing that Iraq is ready. This speech was the green light we have been praying for, a public declaration that the revaluation is not a matter of if, but a matter of when, and that when is now closer than it has ever been in the past 2 decades. The silence from the opposition parties and the unified support from the Parliamentary Finance Committee following this address only further cement the fact that this is a unified national priority, transcending political factions for the greater economic good of the nation. They all understand what is at stake. A revalued dinar means a powerful Iraq, and a powerful Iraq means stability and prosperity for the entire Middle East region. The pieces are not just falling into place, they are being actively and publicly hammered into place by the nation's top leader. And for any investor who has ever doubted this process, this speech should be the definitive moment that erases all skepticism and confirms that the historic financial event we have all been anticipating is now on our immediate horizon. So what does this master plan, as laid out by Prime Minister Sudani, actually look like on the ground? And how do we know this isn't just more political theater designed to temporarily boost public morale? To understand the sheer magnitude and credibility of what is happening, we have to dive deep into the mechanics of the Central Bank of Iraq's reforms, which are moving at a breathtaking pace that mirrors the urgency in Sudani's voice. The most critical and often misunderstood component is the ongoing shift away from the US dollar for internal Iraqi commerce, a move that is absolutely fundamental to supporting a new, stronger dinar exchange rate. For years, the Iraqi economy has been schizophrenic, with citizens and businesses preferring the greenback for large purchases and savings, which perpetually undermine the dinar's value and prestige. What the central bank has been doing over the past few months under direct orders from Sudani's administration, is nothing short of a financial revolution. They have aggressively rolled out the new electronic platform for international transactions, which initially caused some friction. But that friction was the entire point. It was designed to weed out illicit and fraudulent dollar requests, to impose strict financial transparency, and to ensure that every dollar leaving the country's reserves is for legitimate, approved trade. The initial chaos we saw, the complaints from importers, was not a sign of failure. It was the sound of a corrupt and leaky system being forcefully shut down. This has allowed Iraq's dollar reserves, which are substantial, to be protected and solidified, creating a rock-solid foundation of hard currency to back the dinar's new value. Furthermore, the push for a cashless society within Iraq through the adoption of point-of-sale systems, digital wallets, and direct card payments is a game changer. This isn't just about modern convenience, it's about monetary control. By digitizing transactions, the central bank can now track the flow of money in real time, drastically reduce the amount of physical cash in circulation that was used for manipulation and black market activities, and precisely manage the money supply. This level of control is a prerequisite for any strong, stable international currency, and it's a battle they are now winning. The black market exchange rate, which has always been the true barometer of the dinar's health, is showing incredible signs of stress and is steadily converging with the official rate, telltale sign that the speculators and manipulators are losing their grip because they see the same writing on the wall that we do. Now, let's connect this directly to the revaluation date. Insiders within the central bank and the finance committee have been whispering about a very specific window, and Sudani's speech all but confirmed it. The timeline is tied to the culmination of the fiscal year 2024 budget execution. The government has been racing to complete massive infrastructure projects, ports, railways, industrial complexes funded by this record budget. The completion of these projects is designed to create a tangible, productive economic base that will generate real GDP growth, justifying the new higher value of the dinar. The moment the key performance indicators for the budget are met, which is projected for the end of this calendar year, the final barrier to revaluation disappears. They cannot launch the new currency value in an economic vacuum. It must be launched into an economy that is demonstrably growing and productive. All the pieces are now synchronized. The banking reforms are reaching their climax. The budget projects are in their final phases. And the international community, having witnessed Iraq's compliance with international banking standards, is ready to remove the final vestiges of sanctions and welcome the dinar back into the global fold. This isn't a single event, perfectly orchestrated sequence of economic milestones, and we are now witnessing the final act. The central bank is no longer just a regulator. It has become the engine of national redemption, and every policy it now enforces, from restricting dollar withdrawals to rewarding banks that adopt digital platforms, is a deliberate step towards that one single, world-changing announcement that will redefine the wealth of every single person holding the Iraqi dinar. The evidence is no longer circumstantial, it is operational, it is public, and it is accelerating towards a fixed point in our very near future. Now, all of this undeniable evidence laid out on the table, from Sudani's historic speech to the concrete banking reforms and the insider timeline, the most critical question shifts from what is happening to what does this mean for you? What you need to do right now. The window of opportunity that we have talked about in theoretical terms for years is now a tangible closing window, and your actions in these final few weeks and months will determine your financial outcome for generations. The first and most immediate step is to ensure your dinar holdings are secure, accessible, and in the correct form. This is not the time to have your currency tied up in questionable exchanges or stored in insecure locations. The impending revaluation will be followed by a specific and limited window for exchanging your dinar, and you must have your notes readily available, organized, and protected. The second, and equally crucial step, is to begin the process of financial education and planning for what comes next. The moment the new rate is announced, the entire dynamic of your life will change, and the decisions you make in the first 48 hours will be the most important of your life. You need to have a plan for where you will do your exchange, whether you will use an international bank, a primary dealer, or a licensed currency exchange, and you must understand the potential tax implications and legal structures that can protect your new wealth. This is not about greed. This is about responsibility. This wealth is a tool, and like any powerful tool, it must be handled with knowledge and respect to build a lasting legacy rather than becoming a burden that dissipates as quickly as it arrived. Think about what you truly want to accomplish: paying off all debt, securing a dream home for your family, funding your children's and grandchildren's education, starting the business you've always dreamed of, or becoming a powerful force for good in your community through charitable foundations. This is the moment to write that plan down, to visualize it, and to be ready to execute it with precision and calmness when the news breaks. The chaos and euphoria that will sweep through the global community will be overwhelming, and the only anchor you will have is the plan you created when you were thinking clearly right now. And this is precisely why you need to stay connected to a source of reliable, real-time information. The final stages of this process will be filled with rumors, deliberate disinformation, and fear-mongering designed to create panic and uncertainty. My channel is and will remain your front line for clear, analyzed, and truthful updates. I will be here every step of the way, breaking down the official statements from Iraq, providing guidance on the exchange process, and helping you navigate the most profound financial transition of our lifetimes. So here is my direct call to action for you. First, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications for this channel, because when the announcement happens, I will be going live immediately with urgent instructions, and you do not want to be a minute late. Second, smash the like button on this video right now. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this is important, life-changing content, and pushes it out to other serious investors who need to see this information before it's too late. And third, and most importantly, go down into the comments section and type "ready for RV." I personally read those comments, and it creates a powerful community of prepared individuals who can support and learn from each other. We are not just passive observers anymore. We are active participants in a historic financial event. The finish line is no longer a mirage on the horizon, it is right in front of us. Prime Minister Sudani has given us the signal. The Central Bank of Iraq has built the infrastructure. The international community has given its silent approval. All that is left is for us to be ready, informed, and united. Take these actions now, get your plan in order, and let's walk across this finish line together, prepared to claim the future we have patiently waited for. The countdown has officially begun.